this is just text weight paper. You could do this project with cardstock. So the difference between text weight and cardstock is really just how it feels, you know, the thickness or the weight of it. And when I say text weight, just imagine like a little bit heavier than what you would put in your at-home printer. So I have here a couple shades of red, and yellow and green, and a sort of a wine or burgundy color. So the first thing I want to do is add a bit of watered down acrylic paint. And what we're trying to do is mimic when the leaf is just starting to change color and it's not just one solid hue. So what I like to do is sort of put the opposite color of paint on the opposite color paper, more or less. So like the yellow, I will put red and green, and on the red I will put dark green and blue. And these are just inexpensive craft paints, and we're going to do a wet on wet technique, and I'm just going to add about 2-to-1 ratio water to paint, about like that. It's not an exact science. I'm just taking my time mixing it up so I make sure everything gets diluted real good. What we're going to do is typically done in watercolor painting, but we're going to use acrylics, and that is called wet on wet technique. So what I want to do is wet the paper and then apply wet paint. You can use these inexpensive brushes like this. So the first thing I want to do is take some clean water and just paint it on like I'm painting it with paint, but it's just the water for now. And you got to move pretty quickly so it doesn't dry out on you. And number two, so I don't make the paper pill up, you know, because this is not watercolor paper. So, and then I'm going to put a little bit of the red just here and there. I'm not standing on ceremony over here. And now I'm going to put a little bit of blue. Not too fussy about it. And that's it. So I'm going to set this aside to dry and do the other colors. Once they're dry, if you notice that your paper has gotten a little bit wrinkly as it was drying because it was basically soaking wet, you can iron it with an iron on low heat. What you need to do though is just put it on your ironing board and put a piece of fabric there and then press them nice and easy and they'll be flat again. So now we just need to trace our templates onto this paper. We have 3 different sizes of templates here, and you know, I just printed my template on computer paper and then mounted it on a cracker box to be easier to trace. So you could do the same if you wanted. So you're just trying to fit them in, and it's just kind of nice because the randomness of it, the paint splotches from before, and ends up looking sort of naturalistic that way. Sometimes I like to like rough cut it just so I can get all this business out of my way. What I mean by that is just going like this. Makes your life a little easier later on. So now that we got everything cut out, what we're going to do is fold each leaf to mimic the veins. And we're going to use a bone folder. So you may be familiar with a bone folder. It's often used in bookbinding. And what it's good for is that it really presses the crease to make it nice and smooth and neat. So we'll use this on this project so that those veins that we're mimicking look really good. So the first fold is just in half. And then we press it with the bone folder. Then with this fold edge facing me, I want to create a 45-degree fold along right here on the leaf. Press it with the bone folder. And then I'll do that 2 more times. And then down here, I'm going to make another fold about like that. Also press that with the bone folder. Then open it up. And I want to condense this side to fold in the other direction. So just by a little pinch.